Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Here are the top 10 con artists in history that will horrify you. Also, can you send me 30 grand? Thanks. Kicking off the list at number 10, William Chaloner. We'll kick this list off with a 1600s con man. Yeah, they existed, apparently. This guy was wild. He was ahead of his time. William was an English counterfeiter, but what takes it to the next level here is that back in those days, counterfeiting was a crime that ended every time with capital punishment. At that time also, if you were to counterfeit, you could literally change the economy. We didn't have crypto or anything like that back in the day. If you start making coins at that time, trouble, a lot of trouble coming your way. That's already bad, but it gets worse. Our man William here liked to sell fake medicine as well for real medical problems. William didn't get away with it for long, luckily, because guess who stopped him? Sir Isaac Newton. He stopped him. Yeah, is this Assassin's Creed 2? How does this happen? He got spies on his ass. He had people on the inside, ears everywhere. 1699, William Chaloner was finally executed. No, not by a hidden blade either. Number 9, Cassie Chadwick. This next one is a bit more recent, and she's also Canadian. How could she? Get out. She lives in igloos though and plays hockey all the time. How could she possibly? Cassie went to the United States to pull this one off. If Canadians want any fame, they always go to the States. Even if it's fame for being a con artist. Apparently, gotta move south, bro. You gotta go to California, man. That's all you gotta do. Just get in your car and drive. And then you'll be good at things. She went to the States to convince everybody that she was the daughter of Andrew Carnegie. Back in the early 1900s, she convinced Cleveland's banks to hand out $5 million in securities. Keep in mind, $5 million back then was a lot more than it is now. Also, this was a time where women could not get bank loans in general. Is it wrong of me to say I'm kind of impressed here? I'm like, I like her. She's a Canadian? I kind of like that now. Cassie passed away at age 50 in 1907 in the Columbus Penitentiary. Number 8, William Jones. AKA Canada Bill. What? Chris, what's going on here? I thought Canadians were nice. Are you a con artist?
Could be.
Could be. You know what? That's why we don't show him. You see him, he's like, I've seen that guy. He's my bank teller. His name is Marcus. What happened? Canada Bill was a pro when it came to 3-card Monte. His go-to place of operation were on riverboats on the Mississippi River, but he didn't win that much. Oddly, that's the crazy thing about old Chilly Bill here. He would give lots of money away to charity, passing people by on the street, just, hey, here's some cash, go and have fun, bye. But historically, he was known for losing about the same amount that he won. Guy was a con artist, so did he do it purposely? I mean, it's pretty much 50-50 when you look at his wins and losses. What if that was his plan all along? William passed at age 40 as a pauper. Number 7. David Hampton. This one goes back to the 80s, so a little more recent, but David Hampton here was able to convince a lot of people that he was the son of Sidney Poitier. Yeah, it all started at Studio 54. David and a friend were trying to get into a disco, so they started to lie about their identity, which I'm sure no one watching has ever done. No fake IDs in this house, right? But this worked, and it worked again and again, time after time. So David thought, well, now what? What else could I possibly get away with here? I've danced at every disco, I've skipped the lines, I've hit the Roxbury, went a little too hard in the neck move, now what? David Hampton got a fake ID and started to convince people that weren't just club bouncers. He started to convince wealthy New Yorkers. It got so out of hand, a playwright got inspired because of David and wrote a play called 6 Degrees of Separation, based all on him and his story. After David was caught, because of course he got caught, he still didn't stop. He kept trying to lie right afterwards. Classic. Number 6, Charles Ponzi. We've all heard the term Ponzi scheme at one point or another, but what does that even mean? Is that a guy? Is it a Muppet? What are we talking about? Where are these origins? A Ponzi scheme is a sham of an operation, right? Back in 1903, Charles first moved to the United States, and he was an Italian immigrant who was just looking for work. Simple as that. Now, after working job after job, he got hired at Bank Zarasi in Montreal, Canada. Canada? What was it? When the bank went bankrupt, Ponzi was screwed. He needed to do something at that point, but he dabbled into smuggling, but shortly was caught. After he was released, he went into the postal system. That's when things kicked off. He then started to buy large quantities of postal coupons from countries with a weak economy. He then hired a bunch of agents and trained them up good, Wolf of Wall Street style. And the whole idea was you would promise investors that they would receive double their investment in return, right? Within 45 days also. How lovely. Nice short time period. A month and a bit. 45 business days, I'd be like, oh, that's like 4 years. Agents got 10% commission, which honestly, not bad. Number 5, the Confidence Queen, aka Big Bertha Hayman. Once she arrived to America back in 1878, Bertha, just like her father before, would often end up in jail. Family just loves crimes. Nice. We love Monopoly, but crimes, I mean, hey, to each their own. don't do crimes. She knew how to talk to people and Ponzi them. She was pretty confident, hence her name. She would ask for cash and then promise a huge return later on. But her pitch is what really did it. Even the many times she was put into jail, she conned her way out. It was easy for her. She would convince prison officials to take breaks and let her go have fun. Straight up, Bertha would go on carriage rides around Manhattan and even go to the theater. Just live a normal life on a normal weekend. Maybe confidence is the key here, because clearly it worked. Number 4, Simon Leviev. I have to mention this guy because it's so recent. It's like 1800s, 1903, some Canadians, and then this hole on a private jet. Okay. There's a documentary about him on Netflix called The Tinder Swindler. I threw this on, not really sure what to expect. This guy is wild. Basically, he would go on this dating app, Tinder, and he would talk to women, get to know them a bit, and he would convince them that he was the son of an Israeli diamond company. He would have private jets, bottles and security, a big jack dude named Peter. He would all of a sudden say that his enemies are after him, like diamond business enemies, you know, diamond enemies. I guess they're real, all that deep stuff. And then he sent these women pictures of Peter, the security guy, all banged up in an ambulance. And then he would send audio notes too, like, Peter's down, Peter is down. Like, she works in the army and she's like gonna respond and zip line in. And then he would ask them for like $20,000. He did this with multiple women, like every other weekend. How sad is that? At the end of the day, he only got a 15-month sentence in 2019 at an Israeli prison. The documentary is directed by Felicity Morris, same director as Don't F with Cats. It's great, Tinder Swindler, go watch it. After you hit thumbs up. Got him. They were gonna go watch it and they're like, oh, now I gotta hit it. Damn it, he's good. Number 3, Sarah Rachel Russell. Going back to the 1800s again for this one because they're so interesting. I don't know, I haven't heard of these ones, so let's do it. These cases are always so creepy. The Victorian era was full of many scandals and history, but Sarah Rachel Russell, aka the Beautician from Hell, great nickname there, is perhaps one of the most bizarre on this list. She ran this fancy salon in London promising everlasting youth. Yeah, she had a large array of products to choose from after her glorious pitch, of course, such as Jordan Water, Golden Hair Wash, Rock Dew for Wrinkles, Royal Face Cream, Mount Hymettus Wash. Yeah, it sounds all fine and dandy when somebody's explaining it loudly right in your face, like spraying you with stuff. In reality, all Sarah was doing was selling snake oil. Yeah, this was like an old mall kiosk. She just got a lot of people, really. She was good. She would have killed it around Christmas time. But it gets worse, sadly, and it gets weird too. She would have this Arabian bath area, this spa, and it also had a peephole. So she was letting guys pay to watch girls, you know, through the peephole. So when her trial went down in 1868, the biggest headline of all was how much more women were paying on hygiene supplies. After 3 years in prison, Sarah did it again. Yeah, she was caught again and then spent the rest of her life in prison. Can't stop the con. Can't stop, con stop. Number 2, Lord Gordon. Lord Gordon, Gordon of Lords. Lord Gord, here to do some Lord stuff. Back in 1870, Lord Gordon arrived into the United States with just time, nothing but dreams and time. He had one thing to say, and that one thing was that he was the descendant of an ancient Scottish king. The classic, oh, she goes to another school. Yeah, I'm a king, it's just, they're over there. You know, over, you can't see, it's just over there, it's me. He eventually met a man named Jay Gould, who at the time was trying to get control over the Erie Railway. He tried the pitch, you know, I'm very wealthy, I have a wealthy family, they're over there, we can finance this plan here, whatever, just give me $1 million first. Nice, okay, awesome, thanks. Well, he needed $1 million worth of stock, but he ended up selling that right away. Gould tried to sue Lord Gordon, but he dipped and he went up to Canada. The classic, he went back up. People are going down, people are coming back up, doing heists and all that jazz. Love it or list it, con it or leave it. Gould was upset at this point, fair, so he tried to kidnap him. Yeah, that of course put Gould himself in jail, but the governor of Minnesota was on board to free Gould, obviously, seeing as he was, you know, just angry and desperate at this point. So the Canadian authorities released him on bail. And as for Lord Gordon guy, as for Lord Gordon, well, somebody who he'd scammed even before coming to the States, jewelers he'd scammed previously, they told the Canadian government, they put it together, so Lord Gordon was deported. We're gonna deport Lord Gordon. And finally, number 1, C.L. Blood. Haunting name, had to save him for number 1. Guy's last name is Blood, so I'm like, okay. He's not a vampire, so don't get your hopes up. I thought he was a vampire, he's not. And of course he works with medicine too. See, that's why I thought he was a vampire. I was really expecting it. This guy was a physician because he just, you know, started saying it, and then back in the old days that worked. He got in by saying he was the son of a doctor, and his biggest con, the reason I had to save him for last, is because he sold a product called oxygenized air. Here you go. And pay me. which of course was better air. You know, this air cured illnesses, all that jazz. It was the best air ever. On top of the scam, Blood was also involved in blackmailing, misdemeanor, and he even killed a fruit salesman. Yeah, I probably should have started with that. But yeah, this guy sold air and killed a man, so if that's not number one, I don't know who is. Many years in prison, of course, came afterwards, but shortly after, he died of natural causes, which is pretty ironic. He should have tried some of his oxygenized air. Maybe it would have done the trick, poor lad. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters. Those were the top 10 con artists in history that will horrify you. If you want a part 2, I'll gladly explain some more of these wild psychos, so comment down below, hit that thumbs up. We'll see you next time on Most Amazing. Bye.